We've come to the end of this journey together, and waiting for us is Caudalie. This is fully insane. Welcome to my nighttime routine. I'm gonna walk you through how I get undone. I have combination skin. I have some patches that are really dry, some patches that are really oily, just blessed. And so I brought a little bit of everything to do for you. So this will look like an elaborate routine and maybe compared to some not elaborate at all or wrong. But you know what? It's mine. You might notice I already got started by taking out my contacts. Step 2 is getting my hair up. This is important because it makes sense and you like to do things that make sense. And also, you don't want to get your faux locks wet. These are, I got these from Ash Nicole, who's incredible. Ooh, look at that, she cute. See, look at that. So the first part of my process is taking off my makeup. I have a little bit more on today than I would have ordinarily because I'm in New York, had to go to meetings, had to step correct. I use Clean Canvas by Sonya Dakar. It is incredible. It really takes off the makeup that's waterproof, that doesn't want to go anywhere. She like, you going somewhere and it's not on that face. Then I also use Green Clean by Farmacy, which is amazing. It's a solid and it's an oil-based cleanser. So I'm gonna remove my glasses, but I'm gonna keep my Kate Spade hoops on because you know she cute. And I'm gonna start with my eyes. What people don't tell you is that as a woman, when you take off your makeup, you are doing a lot of what you're doing, like blind. So you're just like trusting the process, as it were. So now that I have that on, what I'm gonna do now is take some water with my towel nice and wet. There you go. Doing a lot without seeing. Gonna wipe off the day. So my eyes are off. I'm gonna put these back on. The next step is the Farmacy, and here's the thing. I take great care of my face when I remember to. And so when I do, I really do it. And this right here is what I call taking great care of your face. At this point, I'm gonna take off my glasses again. Here's the thing about me and makeup. Sometimes I forget to take it off. I understand the consequences of sleeping in your makeup, which I do way more often than I like to admit. And there'll be evidence once I take off this, you'll see some beautiful adult acne, which is just, it means I'm young at heart. That's what I feel. Good, getting it great. Literally forgot you guys were there for a second. So what I'm about to do now, you're probably like, you just washed your eyes and your face. What are you doing with those Neutrogena towelettes in the bag that's almost empty? I like to go once over with this guy just to make sure there's nothing left on the playground, nothing left on the field. And it just goes to show, like a clean wipe, you got it all. Now we're at the point where I use Witch Hazel. This is some old black lady shit. This is a wonderful toner, one ingredient, and I like it very much. Gives you a nice clean feeling, squeaky clean, just like my record. So great, I've washed, I've toned. Next step is Vintner's Daughter. Now, I discovered this, I became obsessed with Brene Brown because I'm in my 30s and working on myself. And she was on a Goop podcast, which I didn't even know was a thing, and they both raved about it. And if Brene and Gwyneth are using something, you should Google if it's right for you and if you can afford it, which thank God I can. So the first part is the Active Treatment Essence, which is essentially apple cider vinegar. It smells just like apple cider vinegar. You see me rubbing it on like a child. They say to press up. But that seems insane, so I just do this. Anyway, there you go. So I put on the Active Essence. This is the Active Botanical Serum. And why do they call it a serum when it's just oil? That's just oil, but they call it a serum. They also say to press upward with this, but I'm avid listener. And I make jokes, but this stuff really is amazing. I've always been into skincare. I've had to pay more attention to skincare since acting full time because you get your makeup put on and off and on and off a ton, and my skin was just not very happy with me. I found that during production, I usually have my routine on point. I know where my skin's at and what it's doing. When production's not up, I can sort of fly by the seat of my pants, or the seat of my face. I don't follow the rules as closely. Let's move on to the next step here. I can't see them. Oh, there it is. Okay. We're gonna do some eye stuff now. I don't know if you noticed, but I have some really attractive dark circles under my eye. And they're genetic. They're just like how I'm made. These two products that I really love. This is Superlift by Sonya Dakar. It's got some really cool stuff in it that really does help when I'm extra tired and, you know, we're shooting on Insecure and I'm getting home at 4 a.m. Those may or may not be the nights I sleep in my makeup. So even if I happen to sleep in my makeup, which I do sometimes, I really do get into it with my under eye. Serum oil. What is the difference between serum and an oil? And then I let that sit for a minute. So imagine that's been a minute. I'm not gonna embarrass myself by saying the name of this in French, but it's the green bottle that looks like this. This is another funny story. Like, I went into the actual brick and mortar Caudalie with a friend who knew what it was. She was like, do you wanna go to Caudalie? And I went there and there were no pastries and I was upset. But she gave me a bunch of free samples and I used up my under eye cream from them very quickly. And then I also like to do this here because I laugh a lot and I'm very funny. So this part right here needs some love. The next step, I'm saying next step again because it's a lot of steps. Like when it's just me, sometimes a little Cetaphil. I usually do some Cetaphil, put on some moisturizer and call it a day. But because I love you, I'm bringing out all the goodies. So this is amazing stuff. This is all vegan, lactic acid. And lactic acid makes your pores go, oh, I'm sorry, I was being loud. And so it calms that down. Oh, and it feels great. Once I let that sit in a bit, usually I'm flossing and brushing my teeth, maybe I take my dog out. You know, imagine all that happen. My dog is very cute. Hopefully they flash a picture of him right now. So now we've come to the end of this long facial journey. This is a 1-2 punch that I really love. This is Title by Sunday Riley. And this is Caudalie, and we'll just call it night oil or serum. And there, if you're French, you will love the other words as well. I usually do one or the other. I don't usually do both, but I love them. I'm gonna end with the night serum because that's what I usually do because it's night. I'm gonna be real honest with you guys. I was going to just take a little and dab gently. Just go, oh, look how subtle, and I'm very heavy-handed. I've been accused of this my whole life because it's true. And usually when I take off the lid, this is actually what I do. I just use the lid like that. Sunday Riley, please send all of your sponsorship requests to someone who uses your product correctly. But you know what? I love it. And this stuff is like water. I think that's also why I don't mind overdoing it because my skin drinks it up. Especially since I moved to LA, my skin is very, very dry. So that's also, like, this amount of steps is a consequence of being on both coasts. I'm coming to you from New York, which does a whole different thing to my skin, and LA does something different. So I do that. Make sure I'm out of breath from washing my face. I'm gonna talk to my therapist about that. Let's do this final step. This is a night recovery oil, and I discovered its existence because Jasmine Simon, who's on Ballers, She looks like Benjamin Button in that she's just getting younger and younger every time I see her, which is frustrating on a deep level, especially because she's a woman of color, so she doesn't have to like, why do you have to put that in my face? I'm already like got what you got, so calm down. But she told me this is her secret. And so I started using it and let's see what she was talking about. And I put it on top. Oh, look at her, she's beautiful. Her face is her face and it's beautiful. Guys, thank you for joining me. I usually have to do this by myself or my dog watching, waiting for me to take him out. I hope that you enjoyed my routine. And if you did not, don't worry, it's my routine. And then at the very least, hopefully, your biggest takeaway is that you remember to vote. I'm gonna go vote on what I'm having for dinner. Lloyd, what do you want?